Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Sofirn SC13 Everyday Carry Rechargeable Flashlight. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost anything extra. So let's get this open. Here we have a user manual. Let's take a quick look at it. Now I'm not going to cover everything in it. Here we have a chart. So it shows the different modes and it shows the output. So this has a 1 lumen mode on the low end, and on turbo mode it has 1300. Now you can see this is a tiered mode, so it has 1300 and then 500. So it'll run at 1300 for a certain amount of time, then it will drop down to 500. And here we have the runtime. So on the 1 lumen mode, the runtime is 100 hours. And on that turbo mode, it's 2 minutes for the 1300 lumens, and then it's 1 hour and 20 minutes for the 500 lumens. This has an IP68 waterproof rating. Here we have some more specs. This charges with USB-C, has a charge indicator. This shows the different modes. So you click to turn it on or off. You long press to cycle between the different modes. If the flashlight is off and you hold the button down, you'll go right into moonlight mode. Double click will take you into turbo. Double click again, you'll go into strobe mode. From off, if you triple click, it will lock or unlock it. So it's pretty straightforward. Here we have a tether. We have the light, clip, and USB charge cable. So let's pull the light out. And we have a little tag in here saying there is a isolator. So I'll unscrew this. I'll remove that little tab and pull the battery out. So this is an 18350 1100 milliamp hour lithium battery. I'll screw that back on. Okay, here we have the charge port. Has a gasket. Oh, I pressed the button, turned it on. So this has some kind of knurling here and it has some grooves. So it's, you can see kind of the shape here. It's smaller in the middle to help you grip it. The lens on the end, and we have a clip. So the clip will go around here, put it on this side, like so. Comes with some extra O-rings, so if you lose those, you can replace them. Now to get the tether in, I'm going to take this and pinch it like that and kind of like fold it over, which I think I'll go from the bottom out. And then I'll run that back through. And now we have our lanyard on there. Now this is magnetic, so you can put this on a surface. So let's just try this out. So I'll press to turn it on, then I'll hold down, we'll go through the modes, so it's going to cycle through them, you can see them there. So it's low, medium, high. Now when it's off, I'll hold it down, and we're going to go into that moon mode. It's just barely on. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you want just a little bit of light, this could be perfect. Your eyes will have been acclimated to the dark, and you can see a lot with just 1 lumen. So there's going to be flashing lights in this video, but let's turn it back on, and then let's double click. So here's the turbo mode, and I will show this besides on my bench. I'm just showing the different modes here. So I'll double click. Now we're in turbo mode. I'll double click again, and we're going to be in strobe mode. So I'll click to turn that off. Now I'll turn it off, and I'll triple click now. And it flashed twice. Now if I press it, it's not going to turn on. It does that flash just to let you know it's locked, and I'll triple click again. And now we can turn it back on. Now if it's in lockout mode, I can hold down the button, and it will go into moonlight mode. So the idea with the lockout mode is if you put this in your bag and it gets pressed, it won't turn on. But if it does get turned on, it will just be in moonlight mode, which will not run the battery down much. So that's pretty straightforward to use. Let's get it charged up. Nice thick USB cable here. Plug that in, open up here, plug in, and the little light is glowing red. So I'll let this get charged up, and then we'll test it out some more. Okay, so I have the flashlight charged up. I have the camera about 5 foot from the wall in front of me. I have a little bit of ambient light coming in from the side, but it's pretty dark. And I'll hold the flashlight at 4 foot and we'll turn it on. So I'll press the button. So we have the light on. I'll hold it down. So we have low, medium, and high. So this has kind of a bright spot in the middle, and then it kind of fades towards the edges, and it just kind of fades off into nothing. There's a little bit of banding towards the outside, but it's pretty smooth in the middle. Turn it off. Now I'll hold down the button, it'll turn it on moon mode. So this is moon mode, so there's very little light here, but you can see it. So if your eyes are already acclimated to the dark, you can see a lot with just 1 lumen of light. Let's turn on full brightness. And that's very, very bright there. I don't know if this is showing up on camera. Super bright. Let's go on strobe mode. And that would really get attention. Now I'll take it outside and test it in the dark. Okay, so I'm outside at night, and I'm at the end of my driveway, and it's 50 foot to the door. So I'll turn this on, and first I'll turn it on moon mode. May be able to see just a little bit there, it's hard to say. I'll ramp that up. So here's low mode. You can see that just a little bit on the doors. Turned up one, that's medium. So we can light up a pretty good chunk of the driveway here. Then we'll go to high. And there's turbo. So this is super bright. This is really lighting up those doors and the whole driveway. Now we can double tap again, and we're going to have that strobe mode. I think medium's a pretty good light level for most things, and then you can pop it up to turbo or high if you really want a lot of brightness. So if you're looking around for something and you think you might see something, you might pop it up to that higher amount. Here we have a car tire, and this is on the moonlight mode, 1 lumen. Here we have low, medium, high, and then turbo. Turbo is very, very bright. So if you're changing a spare tire, even the low mode I think is going to be bright enough. Here we can see some raccoons in the tree. Here we have a car engine bay. So here's the moonlight mode. It puts some light on there, but if you had a problem, you'd probably want something brighter. There's low. Low's not bad. There's medium. Now, this is where it's probably going to be better for diagnosing a problem. You can really see things on here. But if we wanted to turn it up, we'd have it on high or turbo. And I think turbo is way brighter than you would typically want for something like this. But the medium mode works great. Now this is magnetic, so you could potentially attach it to a hood, but my hood on this car is aluminum. But the latch on my hood here is steel, so I can use that to light up the engine. So most likely you'll want to hold the flashlight, but if you want some general purpose lighting, even just that hood latch works well. But most hoods are steel, so you could put it anywhere. So that's the Sofirn SC13 Everyday Carry Flashlight. This flashlight has a lot of light in a little package. I really like the moon mode, so you have that very low light, perfect for camping. I like a really bright flashlight, but sometimes I want a really dim flashlight, and this will run for days on that mode. But then when you really want a lot of light, you can turn it up to that turbo mode, and it is very, very bright. Now I do want to say, it runs for 2 minutes, and there's a little note on the side here that says hot, so this does get pretty hot on that mode, so you're not going to want to grip it up here while it's on turbo mode. You can hold it back here. But that's very, very bright. So it comes with that tether and the clip, so you could clip this to something, or put it around your wrist if you're walking through the woods. Of course, a flashlight like this would be good for camping, hiking, repair work. You could put this in an everyday carry bag. You could put it in a purse, backpack. It's waterproof too, so you could potentially take it kayaking, although you'd want to put some sort of float on it. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.